What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of R&R. As always, I'm Logan.
I'm Ethan, and today you just got the two of us. And
Just the two of us.
And you also actually only got the two of these two today.
Building castles in the sky. I'm sorry, guys.
So we're going to do a comparison of the two products that we've got in from Recover Tactical.
Yeah.
One of them was sent to us. The other one was bought with his hard-earned money. But yeah, we're going to kind of talk about the pros and cons.
Hard-earned, not work hard.
But so that's what we're going to talk about. We've got some pretty good shooting experience now with both of these platforms.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the pros and cons of each, which one we think is worth it, everything like that.
Yeah. I think how we're going to kind of format this video and talk about it and video-wise. Obviously, we have done a video on the Recover Tactical 2020N. Obviously, we've done a video on the Recover Tactical S Pro. So we're just going to kind of take the old footage of that, as some overlay as we talk about it and really kind of deep dive into it.
Yeah.
Probably, I would say maybe closer to a half-hour video, give or take.
It's going to be a long video. But if you're looking at which one you should buy, this is the video to watch. So stay tuned because we're going to give you the nitty-gritty, and I'm going to be completely honest on it, and I think the answer might surprise you. So we'll start out with the price. If you find both of these on sale, this one's usually just south of $100 for the 2020N, and then the S Pro, that one is if you find it on sale, about $250.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But so the price is much different. We're talking 2.5 times the cost for the S Pro. And the question we're going to answer and ask and answer today is it 2.5 times better? But if you do kind of outfit this, you Gucci it up, you are upping the price. By Gucci up, I mean get this forward mag holder that you can use as, to hold on to.
And you can get the picky rail. I mean, you guys can't see it, but on the other side, you can get the picky rail for the light. This other side has the holes that you can put the optic. You can pretty much make the basic version into the pro version.
Or close to it.
Without having like the spring assisted brace and everything else.
So you've got to ask yourself if you're going to Gucci it out and do that. Because they also actually make a cheek riser too that makes it to where if you do the optic off the side.
Yes.
But so those are all the questions that we're kind of asking and we're kind of answer. Without the suppressor on them, the weight is close enough that it's not really a big deal.
No.
With the suppressor on the S Pro, it is considerably heavier, but 99% of it's a suppressor.
Yeah, I mean, because if you throw the suppressor on this, we take this comp off, throw the suppressor on, it's gonna be the same. It's gonna be the same realistically. So, it might be a little bit lighter since it's smaller.
I'd say that the S Pro is a little bit heavier because it does have a metal rod on the side that the actual brace rides in.
Yeah.
So that I would say it's going to be a few ounces heavier, nothing crazy. Compactness, the 2020N wins. It folds down to a smaller size.
Yeah, it's like that out of the two. We kind of have a little bit of a list of like what we're going to compare it to, but those two compared for compactness and stowability and concealability, 2020M blows it out of the water.
Yeah,
I mean it does. It literally turns into,
it's a handgun size.
Yes, yeah.
I mean it's literally
it's a long boy slide.
Yeah, it's a handgun with an extra 2 inches hanging off the rear right here. Once this is folded.
Oh, that's a lot though.
But so the other thing where the 2020N it really shines if you already have an optic mounted on your handgun. Because the S Pro doesn't really work with an optic mounted on the handgun. I guess there's probably a way you could try to rig it or finagle it a little bit, but this is specifically made for an optic mounted directly to your slide.
Yep.
So in turn, that does give it, in my book, a little bit more reliability. If you have a gun that's got an optic mounted to the slide and you haven't had any issues with it, in turn, when you take it in and out of the chassis over and over again to clean the gun and put it back in there, it's still going to hold zero. Where with this, that's one of the things we're going to test today. I took it apart and cleaned it twice now. We're going to test and see if the zero held.
Yeah. That's a good. Yeah, I mean, I really didn't quite think about that. I mean,
just because it's mounted to the chassis, not mounted to the actual handgun itself.
Yeah.
So we're going to test that out.
And it could be like in my head, I'm thinking it could be something as minute as in the gun may not sit in the exact same spot every single time.
100%.
It might be millimeters, it might be micromillimeters. You know what I mean? It might be but that little bit of orientation sway here and there. Obviously, it's not going to throw it 2 feet off. But
no, but we want to check it. What I mean? It was dead nuts before. We're going to check see how close it is today. Let's go. So with practicality, they're both very similar. I wouldn't say there's really a big benefit to either. I'd say where this one shines, where the S Pro shines, is if you have a gun that's not optics cut like we have there. This is a pretty convenient way to throw an optic on it. And you're also not going to be held to just getting pistol optics. You can get a really good enclosed like micro red dot like we have here with the Vortec Triumph for 100, 120 bucks.
Yep.
You can throw it on there and you're good to go. So if you have a gun that's not optics cut, it actually is a pretty good choice, I would say. Now, if you have a gun that's already optics cut with an optic on it, the 2020N might be your choice.
Yeah.
Might be the winner.
And what's nice too about the 2020N, there are some people out there who don't like shooting dots.
Yeah.
You're weird, but there are some people out there that don't like shooting dots. If you have some,
we call those FUDs.
if you have some, you don't need a flashlight. If you don't have a dot, or if you don't want to run a dot, what's nice too about the 2020N, it's minuscule, but it also comes with those. Well, I mean, this has it too. You guys can see right here, these
Charging handle.
the charging handle. I guess this also comes with it too, because we when we did the 2020N video, we threw it on the 34.
One of them.
One of the
17.
Yeah, the one that didn't have a dot. So, but we threw it on there, and you can run it. We ran it just fine. It was suppressed, so I don't think it had suppressor sights.
It has higher sights, but they're not suppressor height. If you're going to run this without an optic on it, just iron sights, you'd want like extra tall suppressor sights.
Yeah, 100%.
Just so you could kind of see through it better. The other thing is secondary cool, like second kind of cool. So second kind of cool is not like 100% necessarily practical. It just kind of gives you the warm and fuzzies, gets you going. The S Pro is definitely the winner. It's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you hit that button, that thing pops out.
Yep. I think just talking about the S Pro in general, we'll kind of maybe stay on that one just for a couple minutes, maybe kind of give it its little shine, and then we'll go back to 20, and then we'll kind of do, like a whole little discussion about. But I would agree, the S Pro is tactical. You know what I mean? If there's a cool factor, it wins. This is the high school quarterback. This is the band geek. I mean, it's really what it comes down to. But practicality wise, just because it looks cool doesn't mean it doesn't mean that it's more practical, or that it does better than than your basic version. I would say, and I know we'll get more into it, but just from talking about these, I do like the brace. I do like the spring factor. I do like how it's deployable. Whatever else, you can deploy this just as fast.
Yeah. Maybe not as reliably. But
not as reliable. Yep. I mean, because you can't.
You have to kind of get in the right position to slap it and get it to actually come out.
Yep.
But I mean, the same thing can be said about the S Pro.
Yeah.
You got to kind of get it out of the way of everything when you deploy it.
If it hits the sling, if it hits you, it's going to stop. You kind of got to pull it out anyway. But I will say this, and I don't know how you feel, because we are going in this blind kind of sort of with how, what our opinions are. I will say that I think this is more stable. I think this is a little bit more durable and stable, and doesn't have as much flex as the spring. The spring, the S Pro, the spring brace. It's not a lot of flex, but there is some. But the only downside is if you have too much. We haven't had it happen to us, but we've heard and seen it. If you have too much pressure, like when it's up against your shoulder, it can kind of, kick out like like your like the SB braces and stuff, how they used to be and stuff like that. So that's just mine. Like when it comes to maybe, I don't even want to say durability, because it's not really durability, but for brace wise, I guess.
Yeah. And I mean, just before we get into too much craziness, I'll talk about another pro and con. This is completely toolless when you take your gun in and out.
Yes.
Which is a benefit. This, you have to have the right size Allen key, the right size Torx key.
Yep. And we would show you guys, but it's
YouTube
technically modifying. Yeah, it's
modifying.
Whatever. So we're not even gonna take the chance of it. But
I'm gonna shoot this one, and then I'm gonna go directly over to the S Pro. So I'm starting off the 2020N. Like Logan said, I mean, with this little forward mag holder on here, it is a little more difficult. You can come over top and flick it still, pop it out, whatever it may be. So go ahead and make ready. See, here's right here. You're saying more planted. This, for me, I completely disagree. I bring this up and pull it right there. This is how I'd normally bring it up. There's nothing. I've got to bring it up, and then I've got to kind of bring my head back and bring it right way down, or bring this way up for me to get on the optic. So this is way slower for me to be able to get an actual sight picture. I mean, it's... I mean, it feels comfortable. It's still good. You still get that little bit of a flex right here. If I'm really cranking it back on each shot, it kind of does this motion. I don't know if you guys can see that. In turn, though, that does kind of mitigate some of the recoil. Still feels good without having this little thumb rest up front that the shroud on the S Pro gives you. You don't have quite as much control with your support hand. But I mean, you can still, you know, snap up as long as you, like right there, I'm not on it. I've got to snap up. I've got to really practice on bringing it almost over into my pec instead of my shoulder pocket. Bring it over to my shoulder pocket and bring it up to my face. It's not there. I've got to almost do that motion there. So it's just I might say it's a training, you know, discrepancy. I'm not sure. But, oh. See, like right here, having this little bit of a gas pedal right here that you can kind of really hit that thumb with. This thing does pull back into the shoulder well. And for me, I said I'm at the low ready. I come up, right there it is. I mean, every time that red dot for me just is in the perfect location as far as that goes. All right, so like I said, this one just when I bring it up, just I mean it's right there, and you can still see with this there is some flex. I don't know if it's any worse than this one though. I mean I'm not sure. That might be a personal preference kind of thing. I say this one kind of twists a little bit if you bring it in and kind of, so like I guess that could be said, but for me, just the ability just to freaking bring this up and have that red dot there each time. I do like the way this one shoulders. Now, is this one 2.5 times better? I don't know. But I would say what I said in the video still stands. If you have an optics cut gun, 2020N. If you have a gun that's not optics cut or you don't have an optic on it yet, S Pro. Yeah, by the time you take the screw off from the light and whatnot, I mean, we'll say we'll have to maybe time it if it really matters. It takes quite a bit more time.
It takes longer regardless.
Needless to say, it's not that big of a deal. The biggest deal for me is you have to have that size Torx key with you to disassemble it.
Yeah.
So pro con, whatever you might want to call it, that's pro kind of wins in that sense.
And some could say, you know, they could argue with it on the other side. Well, it's more can't think of the word. I had the word and then it disappeared.
Less reliable.
Yeah, like,
less repeatable.
Well, like the basic would be more reliable because it's held together by a screw. You know what I mean? Instead of just exactly.
Some plastic parts clicking together.
Reliable. That's what I was looking for.
And I'd say the really place that the S Pro really shines for me is like we all seen the Flux, Flux Raider.
Yep.
That thing's super cool. You know, it's got that second kind of cool factor to it. But if you're anything like us, we're already investing in the Glock platform. I'm not going to go out and buy a SIG 320, buy a bunch of mags, and have because it just doesn't make sense for me.
Yep.
This makes sense. Like it kind of fills that Flux niche. You know, that little scratch you've got, it itches it. You know what I mean? So that is a cool thing for me. And to be honest with you, I never tried to deal with Flux, but the owner of Recover Tactical, the guy we dealt with, man, super cool guy.
Yeah.
Got back to us, freaking texted us back and forth, asked if we were going to GunCon, which we should have.
Yeah, we dropped the ball on that.
We live and learn. It was like 2 hours away from
next
us.
year.
Yeah,
next
100%.
year. 100% next year.
But so like stuff like that, like it's a good company. I really like dealing with them.
And if they're that chill and that responsive with just two random Joes that were just talking about a product, I'm sure their customer service will be just phenomenal, just as good. I mean, so you know, and kind of like what he was talking about with like practicality and stuff wise, like obviously each one of these are gonna do what you need it to do for that niche or that role that you want it. I will say each one of them do serve a little bit better of a purpose on certain things than the other one does. Well, I mean, me personally, I would say this would be a lot. I'm not saying that it's better, but in my head, I'm like, this would be a lot better as like a bag gun or a more concealable gray man, like a smaller bag type thing, to where I would rather have this in a bag, and then I would rather have the S Pro as like a truck gun or something like that. You know what I mean? Like different scenarios, I guess, would be kind of what I'm talking about.
I mean, we'll talk about a lot of this while we're shooting. We'll kind of get some some live action shooting that we'll be able to throw in with us talking and stuff. Along with the B-roll you guys are already seeing. So, I mean, we might as well just get into it. Which one wins? Which one, if you had to spend your money today, which one would you buy?
I don't know. I mean, honestly, if
I get my answer first.
Honestly, I would say if I had the basic version decked out like the S Pro is, I would pick the basic.
Okay. See, and by the time you do that, you're getting up to the close to the price of the
you're
S
getting
Pro.
yeah. And before we go into that, I will say what is nice too. These accessories are not expensive.
No, they're not.
The front mag holder is like $30. I think the cheek riser is like 15 or 20.
For another $150, you probably could have the 2020N decked out pretty good.
Yep. And I think I would say maybe me leaning more towards the basic just for that aspect too. This might be a far-fetched idea, but it has less parts to fail, I guess. Like the spring-loaded is what happens when that spring starts going out?
Yeah, what happens when this hinge starts going out?
That is true too.
I mean it's a plastic hinge.
Yeah, yep. So I guess that's kind of both, you know.
And I'll just go ahead and give my opinion on that. If you have a gun that's already optics cut with an optic mounted to it, the 2020N wins. If you have a gun, an older Gen 3 or Gen 4 that's not optics cut, the S Pro is the winner.
So I guess they both win.
That's what I'm saying. It depends on the scenario you're looking for.
Yeah, that is. I guess that would be probably one of the biggest questions before you purchase these, or even before we were like, which one does win? It's like, what's this gun? What's it's going to be the role, or what's this chassis? What's the role going to be for this chassis? You know what I mean? It's like, I don't like dots. I don't want to, I don't want to get an optics cut slide. I don't want to be honest.
So if you don't like dots, you're probably not getting one of these anyways.
Yeah,
I
would agree.
I would agree. Be completely honest with it.
I don't need none of that fancy stuff.
so that's kind of my opinion on it. If you've got a gun that's already optics cut, it makes more sense to get the 2020N and just leave your optic on there. If you've got a gun that's not optics cut, S Pro all day.
Yeah,
that's kind of the way I look at it. They're both going to fill about the same role. I will say the S Pro in my book, it feels a little better, but it should feel a little better. It's 2.5 times the cost.
Yep.
Where you will make up on that cost is if you get the 2020N and then you have to buy an optic because your gun doesn't have an optic on it, and then you get all the stuff decked out for it, you are going to be spending more than the S Pro because, like I said, with the S Pro, you can get a Vortex Triumph, a SIG Romeo 7, something around the $100 price range, any Holosun option.
You can get the Spark that I got for the PC charger. Yep. It was $70 on clearance. You know what I mean?
So you can get a good, reliable enough-ish red dot for this kind of setup for $100 compared to, we'll just say bare minimum for a handgun $250 for one that's good.
And at the same time too, when we say reliable, we're talking as in
tested.
This isn't going to be
a go to war setup
for most part. This isn't going to be your go to war. This isn't even going to be your main defense gun. Realistically, I don't
know.
I mean, if I had this, like this is my primary fighting gun to get to my more reliable defense gun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and don't get me wrong, sure, 100%. If you got that like that, if you can throw an RCR on here or an RMR, you know what I mean? Or if you have an RMR like mine or yours or whatever.
That's what actually was going to go on the S Pro. I've got an extra RMR Type 1.
Yeah.
And I was going to throw it on there, but I'm like, I do like the enclosed T1, T2
and we kind of wanted to keep
optic.
it in a more, I don't want to say not a budget, cost effective, but like
cost effective, yeah.
Yeah, more of a friendly, a money friendly option.
Why would I throw a $700, $800 red dot on
a $250 chassis? Or something? Yeah, like no, yep, 100%. And even that's kind of like even this. Well, we could say, well, that this optic costs more than the chassis. Yeah, at the same time, but this optic was already on this gun before we got this chassis. So
yeah. The other thing I was going to talk about too, with just looking at it, there is a way to add a single point brace, but I think it's probably this underneath right here, and you've got to have a little HK style clip. So I will say that's a pro to that. That actually has a quick detached slot already on it. I'm sure there's probably a way for you to do it on this. I don't know how, but
yeah, and that's the thing too. Now that you're talking about a little bit of accessory wise, I'm not sure about the S Pro, which I would assume it probably does, but the 2020N, the basic version, has a holster that
you can get a holster for that.
You can get a holster for that one too. Okay, I didn't know if it was the same one
or something.
Okay,
a holster.
Yeah. So that's another thing too. Not even just for practicality or whatever else, or even if this is just a fun little range toy for you guys, like being able to holster it, being able to have it out of the way. Being not just
having a bag, have something to cover up the trigger guard.
Yep. But because that is a thing too, like we talked about on the 2020N video,
and the S Pro.
Or that's what I meant. I meant the S Pro. Because the 2020N and the S Pro, it's the same scenario when it comes to it. Like obviously you always want to have your defensive weapon ready to rock.
Yep.
With this, if you don't have a holster for it if you don't have the guard or the trigger covered up in some way, or obviously
do not have one in the chamber.
Exactly.
Have a loaded mag in it. Just
There is
got to rack it,
because at the end of the day, accidents happen.
100%.
So if you have something like that to where you have one in the pipe ready to go, you have a more probable chance of an ND or something going on or something going wrong,
because it's going to rattle around in that bag. Something get in the trigger guard, whatever, as you're drawing it, whatever it may be.
So your conceal just went off, and now you're like, what was that? That's crazy. You know what I mean? So it's like,
as you're walking over the hole in your butt cheek, bud.
Yeah. So I mean, that is one thing too that you guys should obviously really consider. Gun safety is huge. We promote it all the time. These two, if you do carry like that, like please spend the extra money for the holster. In my opinion, like, because no one wants to lose a butt cheek or a finger or leg or whatever, like, or even a life.
Yeah,
like
100%.
So I mean, I don't know. It's like I said, to me, I know I said the basic just because there are certain reasons, but I will 100% agree with him to where it comes down to, it's all going to be, in my opinion, what role that you're going to use for these. Like I said, like he said, if you don't have an optics cut gun and you don't really want to, whatever else, that's gonna be the way to go. Or if you already have a dot on your gun, or if you have an optics ready slide and that you can put it on there. And at the same time too, depending how deep your pockets are, that's a big question too. Like,
I mean, all right, guys. So just in conclusion, I mean, it's kind of I'm kind of, I don't know, not giving you the answer you want, but if you have a gun that's already optics cut with an optic on it, 2020 N makes more sense to me. If you have a gun that's not optics cut, the S Pro is a no-brainer. So that's my opinion, and I'll stand on that hill. I'll die on that hill if need be. But if you're considering either one of these, go back and watch our individual reviews on each one. They're both great products for what they are. I thoroughly enjoy them. I'd say the S Pro might be the most fun thing we've shot in 2026.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like that.
Fun factor is through the roof on that. It's a blast.
Yeah. Like I said, and I think too, you can say that for both, but the 2020 N doesn't take. Like I said, if you want to talk about tactical fun factor, whatever else, just being able to hit the button. Brace comes out, spring assisted. It is
that mag holder with a little gas pedal on it. You can
really get it in there. You can really go to town with it. It does. It gives you 3 points of contact. I mean, obviously
the cheek riser, you get a much better cheek weld when you pull it up. It's just right there. There's the dot.
And you're not the 2020
down here. You've got to kind of like for me, I've got to kind of bring my cheek back a little bit for me to get low enough on this. You can kind of see it. It comes down. I have to get my cheek back here so my eye lines up with the dot perfectly.
So like I said, and that's the thing too, we talked about this in both the individual videos. There are pros and cons to both of these. 100%. So you can take that for what it's worth. You can go back and watch those. You can see the different, obviously, because we have and will talk about these, or about topic points and talking points that we talked about in those videos alone, that we talked about, with the.
Here's one other thing I'm gonna hit on real quick.
Hit on it.
The S Pro can fit more guns.
The what?
The S Pro fits.
The S Pro can. Yes.
Because you can get different blocks in the back. Like now they make it to where it'll hold a Gen 6. I'm pretty sure they make one for Canik. I'm pretty sure they make one for Walther PDP, maybe. Don't quote me on that, but you can look on their website. They make them for different guns.
Yeah.
The 2020N is just Glock, or they make the Glock 43X version.
Yes, they do.
I think those are the only two versions they make in the 2020N.
Which honestly, that wouldn't be something. That would be something that I wouldn't be opposed of even picking up eventually. And
so
we
what
can
you're
kind of
saying
go
is you'll pick up the one for the 43X, and then I'll take my SIG X365 macro and get the Flux Raider 365.
And we can compare
cheap to Gucci.
Yeah. I mean, that wouldn't be.
Let us know if that sounds interesting to you
guys. That wouldn't be a bad idea.
That'd be kind of cool. Doing a slimline PDW setup,
especially with this little little fad that's kind of going on with people Gucciing the crap out of these 43Xs now that they got the,
which we're gonna have to do
OEM
if we do a
mags.
video on it. We'll have to put on some suppressor height sights, throw an optic on it, maybe get a Radian ramjet for it. Do some stuff like that.
They're really trying to kind of give it the old fair shake. You know what I mean? Especially with yours being already competent and everything.
So maybe we'll go with that. Maybe that'll, like I said, comment down below if that sounds interesting.
Yeah. And speaking of comments, I know we're wrapping it up anyway. But speaking of comments, like you guys have been
killing it
lately. Like I said, I don't know I don't remember the guy's name. About and not only that, it was a video that was done 6 months ago. It was the winter Glock 6 torture test, right?
So this guy's name is KH Trucking 6962.
Yeah. So if you're watching, which I'm assuming that you will, because
Hoping you will.
Him saying that, you got a new subscriber and everything else.
I just want you guys to know from my standpoint, some of the videos we've had in the past, people have commented, hey, listen here, fat asses, or whatever it may be. I'm like, whatever. You get one comment like the one you did, it was just like, let's do it.
And that's the thing. It's one of those comments where you're like,
he took a screenshot of it and sent it to me right away. And
yeah.
I mean, it was like,
it was one of those, like, we're guys, but I was like, man, you hit me right. I'm driving to work. You hit me right in the fields. I'm like, man, that's getting comments like that. Pretty much, without going into
what
detail.
we're saying is that one good comment outweiged the thousands of bad comments we've gotten over the last year.
Like you got, I don't know how I stumbled across your guys' video. Like, you guys are super in depth. You guys doing this. You guys, like, the way you guys are, authentic and real and transparent. You guys, I don't know how you guys don't have more subscribers, whatever else, blah, blah, blah. You guys are more fun and charismatic than, a lot of these other bigger tubers that are, just kind of monotone and just read from a script kind of thing, whatever else. But with that being said, like, that comment alone, like, it's you're kind of running on empty a little bit.
Well, the thing is that comment came in before we recorded the S Pro video.
Yeah.
And that day was rough. I mean, we're kind of getting into a little bit of backstory. This will all be on our next podcast. Guaranteed we'll talk about this. But, like, it was over 100 degrees out. Yep. We were sweating our butts off. We had issues with the sound on the camera, so we had to do a bunch of retakes. And it was just like, man, this sucks. And it was literally a couple days later that comment comes in. It's like it sucks, but it's all worth it now.
Yeah.
Like, that's so it just goes back to the old adage of, it's easy to be kind to people and you have no clue what you say, how it affects people. Hey, just know you gave us some motivation. It made me excited to come out and record today.
Yeah, it was one of those things where it was like I was saying, like, you're kind of running on empty a little bit, because, like, this is, we have a buddy that does this stuff too, and he's a lot bigger, does a lot more time, he puts a lot more time, whatever. And I kind of gave him crap about it, like, that's not another job, that's not hard. It is. 100%. It really is. You know what I mean? And having that, we both work crazy hours. We work a lot of hours a week, whatever else.
A lot of overtime. This crap.
Yeah, this is our kind of our getaway, our bro time, whatever else.
Yeah.
But just having
escape
that
from reality.
Yes, like with having that, and we're exhausted. We got families, we got work, we got job, whatever else. You do kind of run on empty a little bit. You're like, man, I don't want to go record. It's 105 degrees out, whatever.
Sweat my butt off and get made fun of for sweating.
Yeah. We get ran down a little bit. This is a rabbit hole, but just getting a comment like that, or just having that you guys are every video is 1K plus views, comments like
subs,
crazy. And it does. It's like likes. You guys are just you're filling our tanks back
pouring
up.
a little bit of gas on the fire. We're trying to get going,
exactly. So we want to.
So without getting too much into the weeds, we appreciate you guys.
Exactly. We want to say that we appreciate that.
100%.
And it really does affect the channel, or it affects us, which affects the channel.
It affects our morale.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because, like, you guys don't see the cost behind it, and we've had different people comment like, "Oh, quit doing your in-video commercials."
Yeah.
It's like, you guys can say it all you want, but, like, you understand, like, what was it, last week I worked over 100 hours. I know you're working close to 100 hours a week. And a lot of it, it has to do with because the economy sucks and stuff, but we're trying to make it to where we can buy stuff for the channel and not have it come out of our paychecks and get our wives mad at us.
And to where, end goal is, this is it.
This is it.
This is going to be the...
So it's like, we get those comments, but it's like, it's like if you can swing over and pick up a case of bulkheads, that little bit of money gets kicked back to us. Like, it helps out the channel, helps us buy ammo, helps us be able to do stuff. If you
helps
go over to Challenge
content.
Targets and freaking let the guy from Challenge Targets know, like, hey, you guys are watching our stuff and you like it.
Yep.
Marcus from Modern Spartan Systems. If you go over there and use our discount code to get some good gun cleaning products, all that little bit kicks back and helps us put out more content for you guys. So that's the reason why we do try to put in the discount codes and the stuff like that. A, it passes on the savings to you guys, but B, it also helps us out. It lets some of these companies know that a little company like us, a little business like us, is sending people their way. So in turn, they'll try to help us out later on. So
we do every video. We do plug our stuff and stuff, We do plug our stuff, and like I said, that's not just to be like, this. It's just to help us. It's to help us help you help us.
Yeah.
In a way. But like you said, the money that we get, even from working or whatever else, goes into this to not even just bring you guys content, bring you guys better content.
Yeah.
The new a new optic that drops, a new gun that comes out, you know,
the new GoPro Mission 1 Pro that we just picked up that you guys are that we're recording on right now. The new DJI Mic 3s.
Yep.
The DJI, you know, the Mini 5 Pro.
Yep, exactly.
I mean, we're talking that's $3,000 in electronic equipment right there just to try to bring you guys a higher production value.
Yep. And that's and you know, and I'll pat our own backs, and I'll give us a high five. Like, not many small channels would do that, I don't think.
Hey, and also a big shout out to Andrea and Katie. There's not a lot of wives that'd be like, yeah, go ahead and do that.
Yeah, 100%.
But in saying that, one of the other people I want to give a big shout out to, if you're watching this, Chris from Mog Gunsmithing.
Yep.
Over in it's around Shelby, Ohio. If you guys are in the Mid Ohio area, you need a gunsmith. You know, you need a gunsmith to do anything, and I mean pretty much dang near anything. Anything minus like optics cuts, anything lighter than optics cuts. Chris is the dude to get a hold of. So, I mean, if you're in the Mid-Ohio area and you need something done, you need a gun re-blued, you need a gun completely refinished, his knowledge, his work, everything he does is some of the best in the industry. So just Mog Gunsmithing. But in turn of saying that, let's get this thing wrapped up.
Yeah.
So if you guys are looking for one of these, we kind of gave you our opinion. They're both great options. Just depends on if you have a gun that's optics cut or not. Really, that's what it comes down to.
Yep. Yeah. So just kind of wrapping this thing up, like you said, like he said. If you guys are interested in one of these, obviously Recover Tactical, that's their website. You can find them. You can find them other places, but you know, going from their website alone,
everywhere.
If you guys have any questions about these in general, obviously go back and watch the other two dedicated videos, or you know, start a conversation down in the comments below. Let us know, ask us questions, whatever else. We are on there frequently.
And if you do go to recovertactical.com and order directly from them, when you order it, it has notes during when you're filling it out. Leave a note saying that you saw it on Reloads and Reps.
We're not affiliated with them.
We're not affiliated with them. We have no discount code.
We just like their stuff.
But we just thought it was a really good product. So if you let them know that we sent you over, that'd be cool.
Yep. But with that being said, we'll go ahead and wrap this video up. So like we said, please continue to kill it, guys. Likes, subscribe, you know, it really helps the channel out. Comments really gets the algorithm going for these videos to really, you know, promote them and get them out more. But yeah, so if you do, make sure you do like, comment, subscribe, so you know every time we drop a short or a video and anything in between. And as always,
we'll see you guys next time with your daily dose of R&R.
See you guys.